So the aim for Wilderlands today was to actually meet with the Cassinia staff and collate some of the baseline data on this property, Budgrim. We started out with our induction to the site and looked at how we could do the fieldwork for the day, which included taking some point transects. We did our 2 hectare, 20-minute bird surveys, and we did look at the golf ball monitoring methodology that's used in grasslands. So the monitoring that we're doing here is actually called a point transect methodology. It looks at the vegetation cover. We run a transect line out 25 metres, and every 50 centimetres we put a pin or a rod down, and we actually look at what the vegetation is that touches that pin, and it gives us a sense of the cover across a random sort of sample across the paddock. So the golf balls, this methodology was designed as a surrogate initially for park rangers that were managing grasslands in this area. And so it really is about not necessarily needing to know what plant species you've got, but more about what the cover of the plants are. They worked out what were some of the ideal golf ball score ranges for some of the threatened fauna that they were managing. So if you can see a whole golf ball looking from down on it, it scores 1. And if you can see between 1/3 and 2/3, was it? 90, sorry, it scores 1/2 of a score. And if you can see less than 1/3 of it, it doesn't score at all. I can pretty much see all the golf balls except that one. So we would probably say the score here is 17. So it's really important for Wilderlands to work closely with Cassinia. Cassinia are the land managers here, and what we will do is we'll work together to ensure that management improves here. The group that we have that we work with all bring different parts of that expertise together, and we learn from each other, and we'll be monitoring, together and sharing what we know with the land manager to make sure we're on the right track. You don't actually realise what is in a grassland until you actually step in a grassland and walk through it. It's very easy to walk past and say it's all grass. But when you get out here and you start looking around on the ground, there's all these small herbs and what we'd say forbs, and some of them, like the chariot wheels that we saw and the lepidium, are nationally endangered. They don't occur anywhere else, and they need these grassland systems to survive. And some of the fauna species are the same. And so it's not until you actually get in them in a grassland and start looking at the ground, and you'll see there's so much more to it than grass. There's lots and lots of different species that don't occur outside of a grassland environment. Grasslands are so dynamic that they do need management. So when you get an autumn break in March, April, and you get enough rain, these wild oats will start to germinate, and that's the time we really need to take action. And it can be very quick. It can be a matter of let's move 100 head of sheep in here to graze them, to prevent them from going to seed. We might burn. It's too late to burn now. These grasses are already gone to seed. Over the course of summer, this will break down and some of it will actually decompose back into the soil or blow away. But by next year, it could take 12 to 24 months to actually get rid of some of this biomass, and it will make a better environment for some of the species we're trying to protect here. Tonight, we're hoping to actually spotlight some of the rarer fauna species that live in the grassland, particularly looking for fat-tailed dunarts, which is a small carnivorous mouse, hooded scalyfoot, which is a legless lizard, and the critically endangered plains wanderer, hoping for a good night tonight. I've known this property for quite a while. It's very unique. It has not been cultivated. We have lost so many of these grasslands to cultivation. We know that we need to permanently protect them. That's what we need to do. We need to purchase them. We need to put them in the reserve systems. We need to put covenants on them to protect them. And once they're protected, that's like the first thing that we need to do. And then we start working, with them to maintain their biodiversity. If we don't protect them, we lose them. And we're still losing them today. Everything in these systems is usually rare and threatened. And, extinction is not an option. And so for me to come out here and look at these sites and be completely energised knowing that they're protected forever and that we can only make them better or maintain how good they are is really important and special.